Hey y'all, it has been a little while since we've done any kind of recording or anything, but our lives are pretty much hectic right now.
But nothing's changed.
Yeah, that's right, nothing's changed.
So I've been promising the kayaking video from the Smith River, and I finally sat down, got all the footage together to edit, and it's just really scattered. And I think the best thing for us to do is to just kind of walk you through this. So we're going to kind of narrate the situation.
We're gonna attempt to narrate,
Yeah.
because it's a lot, and the scenery is beautiful and gorgeous, and it's really hard to film like when you're in the moment and you're just taking all the sights in and having fun. So anyway.
We were having fun.
Yeah, well, yeah, most of the time.
So the day started out pretty good. So we left the campground and took Michael's truck to another campground. It's like a state park, I think. I don't know. If I can figure out where that was, I'll link it below.
Yeah, it was on the river. So it was 7 miles from where we're going to put in. And so we took my truck and parked, and you can actually drive out on like the river rocks. It's really, really awesome.
So we left his truck there. We took my car, which had the kayaks on top, to the spot where we put in the river. So we were able to just drive right down to the rocks, basically, right?
Yeah.
And
drive
then,
out on the rocks there too.
And then we unloaded and parked the car and got in the river. Okay, so we made it to the river access. This is Smith River launch facility. So you can drive right down to the river, unload your kayaks, your tubes, whatever you have, and then there's a parking place up at the top of the hill. So pretty convenient.
James, don't scrape the bottom of it. There you go. Oh, we're already done.
You ready, babe?
Dad, change pads. Running, get
See if you can stay right there, babe.
Get in the water.
So we got in the river, and he did mention something about 7 miles. So there were different routes we could take. I mean, obviously not routes, it's the same river. So you can get in the river, you can get out at different spots. Well, I wanted to get out at after 7 miles. And so at the beginning of this, Michael was like, that's kind of far, that's kind of long. I was like, oh, we can do it.
So if you haven't figured out yet, Malia doesn't really understand distances. So if we're gonna go on a hike, like, oh, let's do the longest one, 12 miles. Okay, let's do a 12
I
mile
do
hike.
not say I'm
Uphill both ways. And she's like, oh, it'll be fine. So
I'm optimistic. I like adventure.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to be realistic. We have 5 small children.
They're not small.
Well, they're not all small, but you know what I mean. Anyway.
So at the beginning of this trip, at some place there was a bathroom. So we all went to the bathroom. There was like these boards that tell you what the river is like, and Michael kind of stopped and read one, and it said something about rapids, and he was like, Malia, how much do you know about this river? I was like, I don't know, but we know enough, it's fine. So we really didn't know anything about what we were getting into, and it wasn't that bad. It was just the kids were on tubes, and the water was shallow in some places, and it was really cold.
Yeah, the water was very chilly, but luckily the sun was out and it was fairly warm. It was probably in the mid-70s. So we had this like train-like deal, kayak, tube. So
whenever we went through a rapid and the kids got wet and they were cold, and plus they were scared to death because there were some places that, I mean, it wasn't really bad, it wasn't really scary, but it was, I guess, I don't know.
Well, it was more than we had ever been on, for sure.
And then being on a tube instead of in the kayak, I think it was a little more intense for them.
Well, at first, so the first place we hit it was just where the water turned. It looked pretty deep, and then there's rocks on the side, so you didn't want to be too far to the right and hit the rocks. Well, the kids were cold, so they're trying to stay out of the water. So that puts them high on the float. You know, they got like hands on the front, knees on the back. Well, when we hit that first rapid, Holden went for a swim.
Yeah.
First thing. I mean, we hadn't been, we ain't even been 50 feet yet, so.
Come on, Holden.
You're good, Holden. I know.
Get all the better stuff.
That is where you would have wanted to go down. Hey, you gotta pick the spot.
And I did pick a spot.
You can't see that? Hey. Well, then I need to go first if you can't see.
We're talking about, you know, serious water level drops, you know, in a certain short period of time. You need to pick your path wisely when you are in fishing kayaks and have small children, because if you get turned over, there are some dangerous spots. So what I said about that rock, if you take a spot too far to the right, the water automatically is going to push you into the rocks. So it wasn't a cakewalk, that is for sure. So there has to be some thought put into some things, right?
Well, I had a good attitude about it, and I was trying to stay happy and positive. Michael, not so much.
Well, stuff like that stresses me out. Like I said, you have small children, and all ours can swim except for Lakota.
But they all had on a life jacket. The biggest deal was the water was cold.
Yeah.
And they were cold. I mean, it was July 4th, but it was Northern California.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it never gets really, really warm enough there for the
Yeah.
water to heat up. So,
In the redwood forest, so.
yeah. So, we got through those first rapids, and then we stopped for lunch. Which was nice because the kids could dry out on the warm rocks, and everybody ate. And
We had a good lunch, yeah. That was
you know, we did. We
fun.
just packed. I think we packed sandwiches or something.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah. So after we had our lunch, we got back on the river and went for a good ways until we got to Jedediah Smith State Park.
Yeah.
Where there was a lot of people out on the banks and in the water, and we kind of were ready to take a break.
So we stopped.
Stop with my butt and I
The
hurt
kids
my
are fussing.
butt because
Hold it. So we stopped at a bend. We're obviously in the state park because there's a pile of people here.
So they don't have on masks.
They don't have a mask. Malia's giving me a big thumbs up. Anyway, it's been pretty fun. There's been a few spots that were a little iffy, but we're doing all right. So anyway, the kids got wet.
Well, it's not fun. Fun?
Oh, they're being so fussy. But anyway, so we got probably, I would say, a good 5 miles left. 5.5 at least. How long do we think we've been doing this?
I don't know.
Hour.
We've probably been,
We stopped for a long lunch.
yeah, we stopped for a long lunch, but we've probably been paddling for, I don't know, an hour and a half maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Well, it's 4 o'clock and I looked at my watch at lunch. I think it's 2:20. So anyway, but we're having fun. It's beautiful. The water's awesome.
Okay, we took like a pretty short break. I don't know. It felt good though to just lay in the float and float for a little bit. But we're gonna try a different technique. I've got Isaac towing behind me because he really wants to do that. London's in my boat, Dakota's in my boat, and James and Holden are getting in Michael's boat. And we're gonna try it like this. They're tired of being wet. They're cold, so we got to get down the river because the sun is getting kind of low and we don't want to freeze to death.
How you gonna do that?
I'll turn around. I'm gonna turn it off.
Alright, ready?
I'll hold on to you. Lean back. Or should I?
Our kayaks done actually really well, a lot better than I thought they were going to, because they're fishing kayaks, so you sit on top of them, not in them. But they done pretty good as far as holding the weight. At one time, Malia had both girls. I had Isaac with me, and then one of the boys got on the back of mine, and it did not work because I'm paddling and not going anywhere because there's so much weight on the back of the kayak. So it was a challenge trying to keep everybody afloat and not freezing in the cold water.
Yeah. So after we took that break at the state park, we got back on the water, and it wasn't long before we came up to these rapids that the locals call Disneyland. And we had no idea, like I said, we had no idea what we were getting into. But there was this huge rock, like right in the middle of the river, and I was in front again. I don't know.
It's not Michael's fault.
You could have paddled in front if you wanted
Well, that's
to.
true. I could have. But I do like being able to see everybody.
Okay.
That way,
See,
if something
alright,
happens.
So I got stuck on this rock. I had to get out. Like at one point, I was out of the boat trying to get unstuck, but that wasn't at Disneyland because I think it was kind of deep right there.
It was.
It was right before the Disneyland.
Or you're
So
talking about.
at Disneyland, like literally, our boat was full of water. I
Yeah.
mean, we were stuck, and the water was just coming in our boat. And
So if you get stuck on a rock, so if you're looking at rapids and you see one that just kind of does this number, it's because the water is hitting a rock underneath. So you don't want to go straight through it, you know.
we are very inexperienced kayakers,
Yeah.
or I should say I am.
Fellow paddlers, as this one guy called us. We're like, we're not paddlers, but you know.
We were doing our best to have a good time.
That's right.
So, anyway, we got stuck on this rock at Disneyland. Well, right after that, I mean, the kids are freaking out because that one was kind of scary. It was fun, but it was scary because we got stuck and we could have flipped.
Yeah.
Oh, also, Lakota almost fell out of my boat. It was too much.
Yeah. So if you get stuck on a rock and the water is just, you know, it never ends. So it's just hammering your boat
Yeah.
and filling it up, and you're trying to keep it. Luckily, these kayaks they have compartments. So you sit on top of them, like I said, but you about can't sink them suckers.
Yeah, they're very
Until you get water inside of it. Thank the Lord that they're sealed. So even if water's dumping in where you're sitting, it's still not getting
into the
kayak.
bottom. It's not getting in the bottom.
So it's not going to just plunge to the bottom. But
We had to pull over like right after we got through that and dump our boats out because we had towels on top. We were sitting on towels. Kids were covered up with towels because they were cold. So now everything is soaking wet, and so we're literally like dumping the boats out, getting on, trying to get all the water out.
yeah.
Don't know. Wait. You got it. There's water in our boat. The boat filled up. It's going over the place.
Hold on. You can't have all them on the
Wait,
the
we're
boat.
about to lose your paddle. That's why I'll turn it around.
I can tell by the way you're holding it.
Dropped the GoPro. I gathered the boat before we went over there.
It's definitely warmer than it was when we started.
We dumped out our boats, got back going. I don't know how far we had gone. I think we came up to a bridge, and I was wanting Michael to check our location on his phone, and he didn't have his phone, so I started looking for it. So we pull over, the phone is not there, and that's when we realized we also did not have the keys to the truck, which was parked at the other end where we were supposed to get out.
Yeah.
So, We're about 4 miles down the
I know
river.
I did. I checked like 3. But I
We lost my cell phone.
We just started. I just asked Michael, could he look up
Where we
our
are.
location to see how far we were. So we pulled off to find the phone because it wasn't right there where it was.
It's gone.
It gone.
With about 2,000 pictures and all of today's videos. And a lot
Hopefully,
of
though-
business stuff.
Hopefully, maybe we'll find it.
Anyway, so
did.
not just that, we just got to like a 3-foot drop. Okay. On top of that, Malia remembered we don't even have the truck keys. So even if we was to get the truck, we don't have the keys. So
They're left in the car. We have the car keys. So now,
Where?
I guess we walk up the road 3 miles to the car.
this will make a good video.
Yeah, but the videos are on your phone, which we lost.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be raining. It could be wet and cold.
We
Yeah.
are wet.
It could be dark. So thankfully, we figured this out before we got the whole way back.
Yeah, that would have been pretty bad. With no phone. You don't have to have your phone, do you?
No, I didn't
Well.
bring it.
Okay, so we're gonna go to the other side. There's like a guided tour guide type deal over there, and maybe they'll give us a ride back. So, anyway,
All right, y'all load back up.
all right, get back. Get Mom's in there.
Get my paddle and let's go.
It's important, if you do this, you need to have both sets of keys to both vehicles, because once you leave one and you get to the other end, there's no going back, you know, so
Not on
you
the
got to
river.
make sure you have those keys. Well, I had left those keys in the car,
Yeah, we had the
car
keys.
but not doing us any good 3.5 miles down the river, so.
So that is where we were right across from a place where there was a van and a trailer sitting, and some other vehicles were sitting there. And so we paddled over there and talked.
There was a camper down there, yeah, somebody
Oh,
pulled an
there was-
RV down to the river.
So Michael talked to the guy driving the van, and they offered to give us a ride back to the
Yeah.
car, which was amazing. It was a lifesaver because I don't know what else we would have done.
At that point, we were only halfway
And it was getting dark.
between our Suburban and the truck. So even if we would have had the truck keys, we would have never made it before it got dark. Mm-hmm. And there's quite a few mountain lions around that area, so probably not a
Maybe we
great
would have came
idea.
into the water.
I'm talking about we had to sleep on the side. If we had to sleep on the side of the river,
I would
like,
not have been sleeping there.
well, it was, I was praying that this guy was gonna, I was like, dude, I'll pay you whatever, I don't even care. You know, like, if you get us back to our Suburban, you know. So, I didn't have any money, of course.
Yeah, we had to
And,
go get some.
But anyway, that was a godsend.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
night. That dude was, he was super cool, you know, he reminded me of Crush off of, was it Finding Nemo?
Yeah.
You know, just surfer dude, all out, California.
He got us back to our car and we asked him how to get back to Disneyland because we thought that's where we probably lost the phone. I thought it came out in the water. I thought we were going to have to swim looking for it. So we drive
In that
back.
cold water,
Oh,
like,
it was cold. And it was deep right there too.
yeah.
So we drive back to Disneyland and we get out, walk out on the rocks, and the phone is just laying there. It's
On the edge of the water.
Let's do this in the car.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
It was laying right in the rocks.
Right in the rocks. Not even in the water.
Not even.
I thought we were going to have to go swimming.
Oh, we're not swimming in that water.
God is good. That is awesome.
There was somebody that could give us a ride, and he let my phone stay.
Oh, so we haven't. We've got to catch up with what happened. So,
All right, hold on. Let's get in the car.
okay, he wants to get in the car first.
Well, I had an ice box on the float.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Okay, so after we last filmed with the GoPro, it went dead. But Michael went and asked a guy that was with Redwood Rides, who was sitting there waiting on some kayakers to come out, and he'd been waiting for like an hour.
So yeah, so I was like, well, I'll just go ask this guy if he would mind giving us a ride, you know. So I walk over there, and he said he'd been waiting since like 4:30, and people were supposed to be out at 5. And I said, would you mind giving us a ride back to our car, because, you know, lost my phone, don't have the keys to the truck. So anyway, so he said, let me call my boss. So he called his boss. He said, yeah, I'll do it, you know. So he didn't say it like that. He sounds like Crush off Cars. No, Nemo, Finding Nemo. Yeah,
Doing an impersonation.
well, he's like, dude, that's totally all right, man. I'll take you up there and then drop you off. I'll get all your stuff too. And I was like, that is awesome. So we piled up all our stuff. I mean, he had a trailer and everything because he was waiting on kayaks. So piled up all our stuff on the back of the van, drove the van back. He dropped us off. It's awesome.
Amazing.
The Lord was good to us this time. So
I didn't even
He's
see
good
it
all the
fall off.
time.
I was on the back of the tube.
I know.
Wow, it's dark because we're in these trees. I can't even see y'all.
Let's show them.
Okay. Let me try.
This is the trees we're in. I don't think the camera's gonna do it justice, but that is quite a tree.
So everything worked out great. If we hadn't lost the phone, we wouldn't have pulled over and realized we didn't have the keys. Then we would have been 7 miles upriver.
With no phone, no keys.
Yeah.
That would be no good.
Amazing how that worked out. Just crazy.
So now we gotta get my truck.
Yep, so going to get the truck, calling it a day.
Whew, we were just praising the Lord about that one because, man, I mean, you know, traveling, we're in California and losing a phone would not be a good idea. So, but anyway, we had fun, so.
We survived.
Yeah.
Nobody got hurt, nobody drowned. It was.
Hey, we had all 5 kids at the end of the trip, you know, that's a good thing. So, the whole kayaking experience, the water, the rocks, I mean, it was just all gorgeous.
Yeah.
And we really liked Northern California, the trees, Northern California, the people were nice. It was just a beautiful area.
That was really our last big adventure before
Yeah.
we came back to North Carolina.
Yeah, but it was awesome. I would love to go back there and get a house on the Smith River one day. So we'll see. Maybe that'll be in the future, but
So
anyway.
it was fun. I'd do it again, just a little differently. We
Well,
know,
we would
we know now.
Yeah, that's right. It's different when you know what you're getting into. But anyway, hey, there's no fun in that. Who wants to watch that, you know?
Yeah.
Alright, well,
Well, thanks for watching, and stay tuned. We're trying to get caught up with these videos, so we're gonna bring you through our journey back to North Carolina, and then catch you up on what's going on since we got home.
Yeah.
So
a lot of cool stuff, and you'll like it. But anyway, we'll see y'all later.
all right, bye.